The day we got kicked out didn't feel sudden. It felt overdue. You're 18 now. Our uncle didn't raise his voice. Didn't argue. He just stood in the doorway, arms crossed, like he'd been waiting for this moment longer than we had. I've done enough. My brother, Caleb, stood beside me. Same age. Same situation. But he always reacted differently. He went quiet. Still, like if he didn't move, maybe it wouldn't be real. I tried once. Just give us a little time. No, our uncle said. Not loud. Not angry. Just final. That was it. No plan. No warning. No second chance. We packed what we could. 2 backpacks. 1 duffel. Clothes. A few papers. Whatever we could carry. When we stepped outside, the door closed behind us with a soft click. It didn't sound like much. But it was. We stood there for a second. Caleb looked at me. Do you have a plan? I shook my head. Not yet. We walked. Not because we knew where to go, but because staying felt worse. The town felt smaller when you didn't belong in it anymore. People noticed. Not directly, but in the way they looked at us, just a second longer than usual. 2 guys with bags. No destination. We didn't stop. By the time the houses thinned out, the road had already started to change. Less pavement. More dirt. Then, just a trail. Where are we going? Caleb asked. Away, I said. It wasn't a good answer, but it was the only one I had. We followed the path downward. The land dipped slowly, pulling us away from everything familiar. The air changed. Cooler. Damp. Then, we heard it. Water. Not a stream. Not small. Something stronger. Caleb slowed. You hear that? I nodded. We followed the sound. The trees thinned as the ground opened up. And then, we saw it. The mill. It sat at the base of the valley, partially hidden by trees and overgrowth. Stone foundation. Wooden upper structure. A large water wheel on one side. Still, but intact. The roof sagged slightly. Windows broken. Door hanging crooked. It didn't look abandoned in a dramatic way. It looked left behind. No way, Caleb muttered. I didn't respond, because I was already walking toward it. This is worse than a bad idea, he said, following reluctantly. This is nothing. I stepped onto the edge of the structure. The wood creaked beneath my weight, but didn't break. That was the first thing I noticed. It still held. I pushed the door. It resisted, then gave. Inside, dust, old wood, the faint smell of water and time. Beams stretched across the ceiling. Thick, worn, but strong. The floor was uneven in places, but mostly intact. The mechanism of the mill, gears, shafts, sat frozen in place. It's dead, Caleb said. It's not gone, I replied. He looked at me. You're doing that thing again. What thing? Looking at something broken like it's already fixed. I didn't argue, because he wasn't wrong. I walked deeper inside, ran my hand along one of the beams. Solid. The structure hadn't collapsed. It had just been ignored. It's usable, I said. Caleb let out a breath. For what? I turned toward him. For staying. He shook his head. It's the middle of nowhere. Exactly. He paused. Looked around again. The walls. The space. The water outside. It's hidden, he admitted. That mattered. More than anything else. We stepped back outside. The valley felt separate from everything else. Quiet. Still. Protected. Caleb sat on a rock near the edge. You're serious, he said. I nodded. We can't keep moving, I said. We need something stable. He looked at the mill again. The water wheel. The structure. The land. It would hold, he said slowly. Yeah. There was a long pause. Then, okay. That was it. Not confidence. Not excitement. Just acceptance. We didn't buy it. Didn't own it. But we took it. Because no one else had. That night, we didn't sleep out in the open. We slept inside the mill. The air was damp. The space large. But the walls held. And for the first time since we got kicked out, we weren't exposed. We had something. Even if no one else saw the value yet. As the sound of water moved steadily outside, the mill stood, waiting for what we would turn it into. The first night inside the mill didn't feel like shelter. It felt like space we didn't know how to fill yet. The sound of water never stopped. It moved steadily outside, pushing against the old wheel, brushing against stone, echoing faintly through the structure like a reminder that something here was still alive. Caleb didn't sleep much. I could tell by the way he shifted every few minutes, adjusting his position on the wooden floor. This place is loud, he muttered at one point. It's better than silence, I said. He didn't answer, but he didn't disagree either. By morning, the reality settled in. We weren't passing through. We were staying. And that meant one thing. We had to make it work. I stood first. Looked around. Not at everything. Just the next problem. That was the rule. Not everything. Just the next thing. Roof, I said. Caleb followed my gaze upward. There were gaps, some small, some wide enough to let in steady streams of light. Yeah, he said. Roof. We didn't have proper tools. No materials. So we worked with what we could find. Outside, near the edge of the structure, we found old boards, some broken, some still usable. Likely remnants from past repairs that had been abandoned long ago. We dragged them back, sorted through them, climbed carefully onto the lower sections of the roof. Every step tested, every movement slow. The wood groaned beneath us, but held. We started with the largest gaps, placed boards over them, secured them with nails we pulled from loose planks below. Bent, rusted, still usable. It wasn't clean, not precise, but by the time we climbed down, the biggest openings were covered. That night, the air inside stayed warmer. Not by much, but enough. The second problem, the floor, uneven in places, damp in others. Sleeping directly on it wasn't sustainable. So we built layers. Leaves, branches, scrap wood. We created a raised section in one corner. Not comfortable, but better. And better was enough. By the end of the first week, the mill had changed. Not in appearance. Not in a way anyone else would notice. But in function. It held. And that meant we could stay. Water wasn't a problem. That was the one advantage we had immediately. The stream ran constantly. Strong. Reliable. We didn't have to search for it. Didn't have to ration it the same way. It was just there. That alone made everything easier. Food was harder. Our money dropped fast. We stretched it. Bought only what we needed. But we knew that wouldn't last. So we adapted. The valley had more than we expected. Fish in the stream. Not easy to catch at first. But possible. Caleb figured it out faster than I did. You have to stand still, he said, ankle deep in the water. Let them come to you. It took time. But eventually, we caught enough. Then more. And that changed everything. Because now, we weren't just surviving on what we had. We were using what was there. Each day started to take shape. Morning. Check structure. Reinforce. Midday. Fish. Gather. Evening. Prepare. Plan. We cleared more space inside. Organized what little we had. Created sections. Sleeping. Storage. Work. It still looked rough. But it felt controlled. Caleb noticed it first. It doesn't feel temporary anymore, he said. I looked around. He was right. It felt like something we were building. Not just something we found. By the second month, we understood the mill. Not just how it looked. How it worked. The water wheel. Still intact. Not moving fully. But close. We studied it. The way the water pushed against it. The way the mechanism inside connected. It used to run everything. Caleb said, turning one of the gears slightly. I nodded. If we get it moving again. We didn't finish the thought. But we both understood. It would change everything. We started small. Cleared debris from the wheel. Removed branches caught in it. Adjusted what we could reach. Then, one afternoon, it moved. Not fully, but enough. The wheel shifted. Turned slightly. Caleb stepped back. Did you see that? Yeah. We adjusted more. Carefully. Then, the water caught again. And this time, the wheel turned. Slow. Uneven. But real. Inside. The gears responded. A low grinding sound filled the space. Not smooth. Not efficient. But alive. That was the moment everything changed. Because now, the mill wasn't just shelter. It was function. We tested it. Grain wasn't easy to find. But when we got some, even a small amount, the mill worked. Roughly. But it worked. And that meant we could do something with it. Not just for us. For others. The valley wasn't empty. People passed through. Farmers. Occasionally. Small operations nearby. Not many. But enough. Caleb said it first. What if we use this? Use it how? Grinding. Helping. Something they need. It made sense. Not big. Not complicated. Just useful. We cleared the front area. Made it accessible. Then, we made a sign. A flat piece of wood. Simple. Mill. Working. It wasn't impressive. But it was clear. The first day, no one came. The second, someone slowed. Then left. The third, a farmer stopped. He stepped out slowly. Looked at the mill. Then at us. This running, he asked. Yeah, I said. He didn't look convinced. Show me. We did. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. He watched the grain move through, listened to the mechanism, then nodded. Didn't think I'd see this place running again. He left money. Not much, but enough. And that changed everything. Because now, the mill had value. Not just to us, to others. From that point on, we built around that. We improved it, made the system smoother, more reliable. Didn't rush, just made it work better each day. By the third month, more people came. Not many, but steady. Word spread. Quietly. There's a working mill in the valley. We didn't chase attention. We focused on consistency, and that made it grow. By the fourth month, we weren't just surviving. We were stable. The money added up. Slow, but steady. Enough to improve. Better tools. Better materials. We reinforced the structure properly. Fixed sections of the roof. Strengthened the frame. The mill, once forgotten, now stood solid. Reliable. Intentional. And then, everything shifted. A truck came down the valley one afternoon. Not like the others. Cleaner. Newer. A man stepped out. Well-dressed. Out of place. He looked at the mill for a long moment. Then walked up. You two running this? He asked. Yeah, I said. He nodded slowly. I've been hearing about it. Caleb crossed his arms slightly. Good things or bad things? The man smiled faintly. Interesting things. He walked inside. Looked around. The structure. The system. The movement. You brought this back, he said. We're still working on it, I replied. He nodded. Then, I represent a small agricultural group, he said. We've been looking at restoring local production points. I didn't respond. Just listened. This mill, he continued, could be part of something bigger. Supply, processing, distribution. The words landed slowly. Because just months ago, we didn't have a place to sleep. And now, someone was talking about expansion. I looked back at the mill. The beams. The wheel. The work we put in. Then back at him. We built this ourselves, I said. He nodded. That's exactly why I'm here. A pause. We like to work with you. Not take. Work. The water kept moving outside. The wheel turned slowly behind us. The mill didn't feel abandoned anymore. It felt grounded. Caleb looked at me. What do you think? He asked quietly. I took a slow breath. We had nothing. Then we had this. And now, we had auctions. We don't rush it, I said. He nodded. The man smiled. That's smart. He handed us a card. Then left. No pressure. No urgency. Just possibility. The sun dropped behind the valley. Light stretched across the water. The mill stood behind us. Stronger. Steadier. And no longer something people ignored. Because the two guys who got kicked out with nothing now stood in front of something they built. Something that didn't just save them, but gave them a future.